Hello my dear students, in this video class we are going to discuss the remaining topics of chapter 7 history, craft and industries. The topics which we shall discuss here, first one is smelting industry, second one other industries, third one resurgence of Indian industries, and at last the great wars and their impact. So first one is smelting industry. My dear students, in the geography, we have discussed that till the 16th to 17th century, our country was so much rich in the different resources like the iron, copper and the aluminium. At that time, smelting means to melt the ore was done with the traditional methods. There were the persons who were involved in this process known as the smelters. They had furnaces, and in that furnaces they were using the wood as a fuel to burn the furnace. In that furnace, ores of different metals were melted, and after the melting, different type of weapons including other jewelries and items were being produced. At that time, the smelting industry of our country, India, was not so much organized and developed. The main reason behind this was at that time, our whole country was divided into the many smaller and bigger kingdoms. So, any proper development didn't took place. Smelters who were engaged in this work, they were working for fulfilling the demand of their individual kingdom or their individual areas. But at that time also, greatest quality of weapons, arms and other useful items being produced by the Indian smelters. But as industrial revolution occurred into the England, because of the industrial revolution, Indian smelting industry had to suffer a lot, and at last smelting process declined or totally closed. My dear students, for the own economic interest of themselves, Britishers needed high quality of ores as well as the woods. So as a result of that, they took away many ores from our country India as well as many timbers which can run their furnaces. Secondly, the area of the different forests were made reserved by the Britishers so that the timbers which were present in that area can be utilized by them only. Forests were divided into the three categories: reserved, protected and village forest. Reserved and protected forests were only for fulfilling the needs of the British. Besides that, the Indian smelters who were not so much modernized, they had to face stiff competition or very tough competition with the British industrialists, and as a result of that, many people who were involved in the smelting process, in lack of getting the ores as well as in lack of getting the fuel to run their furnaces, they have to choose another occupation, or they have to close or shut down their furnaces. So next topic, other industries. Before the arrival of the Britishers in India, except the cotton and smelting industry, some other industries also flourished. In this, there were the work of the goldsmith, artisans, craftsmen, work of the ivory and others. Yet, these items were used by the noble and the highly class peoples like the Rajas and the Nawabs. As a result of that, the cost of these merchandise or these items was extremely high. But as Britishers have not too much interest in these commodities, So as a result of that, very soon this business or their industry started to decline, and people who were engaged in these suffered a loss. Now next one, resurgence of Indian industry. Resurgence means to give remedy or to just give some setback. So as I have told you all, because of the arrival of the Britishers, Indian textile industry as well as the smelting industry were on a stage of being shut down. Then later on, in the late 19th century or in the mid of the 19th century, some Indian industrialists who hired machinery and tools from the British, or we can say from the other countries of the world, started to open up industries. And in the series of opening industries, first mill was established in the Bombay in 1854. Until the 1900, in the surrounding areas of Bombay, there were approximately 80 mills. As Bombay was a suitable place which was nearer to the area of the peninsular plateau, and as we are knowing, in the peninsular plateau area there is the availability of the black soil, and in the black soil cotton crops flourished a lot. So as a result of it, earlier time the Manchester of India, which was the Surat, it started to lose its reputation, and at the place of the Surat, Bombay grew a lot. As centers in the Bombay grew, many people of the neighboring areas started to come and leave Bombay in search of the jobs and other opportunities. So slowly and gradually, Bombay grew, and Surat, or the importance of the Surat, declined. Now, steel industry. In case of the steel industry also, some quick services were achieved by Indians. It was the Dorabji Tata, the son of Jamshedji Tata, who started the first iron and steel factory in the India. He, with his American explorer, found a place near the Jamshednagar on the bank of the river Tungabhadra and Karakoi river, where they started or they operated first iron and steel plant of India in the year of 1904. This iron and steel plant, which was operated by the Tata Group, is nowadays known as the TISCO. And this TISCO started to give the production in the year of 1912. Now, last topic of this chapter, the Great Wars and their impact. My dear students, as we are knowing, two great wars were fought in the world. One was the World War I, which was fought in 1914, and another was the World War II, which started in the 1939. So, after the World War I, it was very essential for the Britishers to maintain a huge army and modernize the army. So in that process of modernizing the army, there was the requirement of the dresses for the soldiers, or we can say uniform for the soldiers, as well as for arms and ammunition. There was a requirement of the iron and steel. So these both requirements of the Britishers gave some boost to the Indian textile and smelting industry, or Indian iron and steel industry. Britishers thought that to transport the uniform and ammunition from their homeland will be a little bit harder, tough and expensive thing. So they preferred Indian suppliers for the supply of these goods. So Indian Indian textile industry flourished because they started to get more advances as well as more orders for weaving the uniform of the soldiers. On the other hand, there was a demand of the iron and steel also for making different type of weapons. So this was all about this chapter. In the next video lecture, we shall discuss about the next chapter. Till that time, bye bye.